Good morning. Welcome to Melco. This is Mike Doe, part of the applications team here, with my buddies, Scott Stingle over on my left side, your right side.
Hi, everybody.
And Nate over doing the VJ stuff. Nate has actually got his hand in a little bit of a pickle, but he'll be feeling better soon. So get well, Nate. Today, very exciting news today. We're going to introduce everybody to the EMT16X, the next generation of our Melco Amaya platform. Very excited about this. Just want to give you an overview. We've been working hard here at Melco. I say we, but our engineers have been working hard. We have listened from service group, Dan's group, major props to them, to the applications team, to our sales folks all around the world. We've listened to our customers, and our engineering team has been hard at work developing things that we believe our customers' needs are. So technology is great. Let's start. So we're going to zoom in. We're going to start at the top of the machine. And so one thing that you'll notice is the tip of the machine, the thread tree tube tip. Try to say that 5 times in a row. Thread tree tube tip is a little bit different color and a little bit different shape. You'll also notice that the cone tubes, the thread tubes themselves, are actually longer on the X machine than previous models. I'm going to take this cone off here, and the next thing we'll see is this this spaceship-looking thing everybody calls the alien creature around here, but it's the it is the thread cone stabilizer, and so this is a new guy. So this replaces the rubber clovers that we used to have, and so this guy easily slides up and down to accommodate all different kinds of cones. The other thing is these plastic tentacles, let's call them, actually have a lot of memory. So if you leave a cone on these for weeks, months, years, take it off, they'll actually expand back instead of where the rubber used to kind of keep the memory. Now these guys actually are blossoming back out. So I'll take this guy off and we'll bring it over here for a minute. Really cool feature. Very simple. But technology advancement nevertheless. These things really help out a lot. I'm able to do a lot of things with smaller tubes or smaller cones of thread and be able to accommodate more. So as we go back onto the camera, Nate, onto the thread palette, we will notice that the next thing that you'll see is we have a new mounting system on the X machine that allows us to get flush with the neoprene pallet of the machine. So if I take and put my 5,000 meter cone back on this guy and slide him down, no matter what his inner shape is, I can get that down and flat against the neoprene. Okay? The other nice thing about that is if I switch out to a small cone, I can take and push this thread cone stabilizer down, and I can put that guy on there and push it right up against the neoprene. So you can see how slick that works for different types of thread. Now, what we don't do anymore is once we put these tubes up into place, we don't need to worry about having the thread tree tube tip, once again that's a tongue twister, thread tree tube tip a half an inch above the cone. We can actually leave it up here and not bring it back down. So feel free to raise these up to their maximum height and don't move them.
Be careful not to pull them apart.
Yeah, and make sure that when you're pulling these up, I would take and put my hand behind and then lift them up to make sure that you don't over pull them. That's a good point, Nate. So keeping going here, we're going to cruise down the next part that we'll notice after the thread palette. And feel free, I forgot to mention this, feel free to let us know if you have any comments or questions. Once again, this is Mike Doe at Melco here with my team, Nate and Scott, showing you the X machine in case you guys got here a little late. So the next thing after we get done talking about the cool stuff up here on the thread tree and the pallet is we're going to cruise down to, and Nate is doing wonderful cinematic changes to get to our take-up lever. How stable that was. Nobody got seasick. You're all with me. The take-up levers on the X machine are slightly smaller than our previous model, a little bit longer than the previous model. So if you're confused with that, it's okay. So am I. The good thing to know is these are just really good take-up levers. The reason that those changed, everybody would probably ask, I would ask, why did we change those? And the reply to me is the take-up lever is really important, the length of the take-up lever. What it does is it drops that thread down, makes the loop around the hook so that the bobbin thread and the upper thread can tie to each other. That take-up lever has got to be long enough to let that go down around the hook and then pull back up. So we do have a new hook on this machine. It's different than any that we've used before. So that's the reason that we're using a slightly different length take-up lever, okay? So we're going to go from there, take-up lever, and we're going to cruise down, and maybe we can, yep, Nate's doing his cinematic view. On the grabber, we actually have a little bit different grabber on the X machine. Once again, we listened to customer feedback, and we got a lot of feedback that there was the lights, the LED lights, were shining off the chrome of the grabber and was distracting as you're trying to thread the needle. There's two different camps of threading needles, right? One is you put the grabber in like this, that's me. And then there's others, and I think there's two others in this room that thread the needle like this. So the grabber is out. So the first difference of it, you'll notice it's painted a flat black or coated a flat black. Paint is the wrong word to use. I apologize for saying paint. It's coated. The other thing that you'll notice is it doesn't have the little barbs on the ends of the grabber needle protection bars that come out. It's not a huge thing, but it is something that we heard a lot about is people would get their fingers caught on those as they were threading them. If you thread them like the Mike Doe method, where the grabber is in, makes a big difference. So that is a differentiator. And then as we can go in a little bit more, you'll notice that the lower arm is different. It's a different color, yes, but it also has and we'll start at the top of this guy, it has a flat area where the needle actually goes through the needle plate and goes down to the hook. So it's got a flat location on the top. And one of the main reasons that we did this as a flat, we wanted to keep as small a lower arm as we possibly could. But by doing flat, we're able to get that needle, the presser foot, and let me get this guy out of the way, and let's just drop this here for a minute so you can see this, is as that presser foot makes contact, you can see that the whole surface of the needle plate is parallel with the top of this. So the idea is the presser foot's job is to come down and actually hold that material, whatever material you're being sewn, a cap, a flat, whatever you're presenting on there, it pinches that material between the presser foot and the needle plate, and it holds it in place so as the needle comes down, there's no chance of the fabric moving as it comes down. So by doing a flattened area, instead of just having a portion of the needle plate, a portion of the presser foot pushing against the needle plate, we're getting the whole surface of the presser foot to be able to push against that. So if we could come out to the main screen for a second, and I've got another prop here. We've had a question, and this didn't come through Facebook, it came through before. And the question was, hey Mike, will that help me get closer to the bill of the hat? The answer to that is no. It will not help that. It's not, the problem with getting closer to the bill is not that the material is not being held. I love Nate. It's over and things. What happens is the hat, as it comes up, it ramps up. And the reason it does that is all the material of the bill, all the material of the crown, all meet in this place, okay? That's the seam that we're holding it. And so it's very difficult to get that area to lower down. So it's not a issue with the type of needle plate you have, the type of presser foot you have on your machine. It really has to do with that way hats are manufactured. This is an industry-wide issue. We actually, about 10 years ago, we came out with a cap frame that hooped the cap. So what it would do is, instead of this strap pushing against the inner ring of the driver or the frame, it would actually push below, kind of like a hoop does, and it would push that material down so it was riding as low as possible against the needle plate. The problem is you had to be absolutely perfect with hooping hats. So who remembers the days, if you're back in the late XT, early XTS days, remember how hard it was to use a wide angle cap frame to hoop hats. Beginners could not figure out how to do it. Herb Aker, maybe some of you remember his name, did a wonderful job doing kind of like a pioneer of YouTube videos for us, did a video on how to hoop a hat really well with it. Anyways, I'm getting kind of sidetracked, but it really means something here. That's the reason that you have issues, and that's something that you can look at and constructively talk to the cap manufacturers about. I do it every time I go to a trade show. I talk to the cap manufacturers and say, hey, you guys need to figure out better technology of how the crown and the bill meet at the seam and how we can get that material to be less. Because not only do you have the material and the bill material, you also have the buckram that's meeting up in there, right? You also have you may have remnants of the cardboard or plastic that's in the bill as well. So there's all this junk going on in that seam of the cap, okay? So that's what it is. So no, the X machine is not going to allow you to get closer to the bill because of that ramp and because of that excess material. Hopefully all that makes sense. If not, post a comment and Scott will hollow those out. It looks like we got a finger up. He's got a question for me.
Just a question from Edith. Are the new thread tube stabilizers retro to older machines?
So I want, Edith, was it? Mm-hmm. Edith, I'm going to answer your question here in a minute. I want to go through all of the feature sets of the X machine, and then we're going to start back at the top of the machine and talk about what can be purchased for the legacy Melco equipment that we're showing you. So keep those questions in your mind, Edith, and anybody else, and we'll then go back through and talk about what parts you could purchase and look at putting on your equipment. Great question, Edith. Just hold on to it, okay?
Well, and y'all can post them, but we'll read them in a bit.
Yeah. So once we start going through those, Scott will post the part numbers for the ones that are retrofittable. So we'll get to that here in a minute, okay? So let's zoom back in on the needle plate. I'm going to go ahead and disengage my e-stop. There we go. And we'll see that raise up. There we go. And so once again, we've got this flattened area on the needle plate. Primarily the reason for that is so that the presser foot's got a flat surface to hold the material against, press the material against. The other thing that you'll notice is the retaining finger on this machine actually has two sides to it. So it actually comes off of both sides to hold that or hold the hook in place. So you'll notice that. We'll actually get into, I'll show you the innards of the needle plate here in a minute. So let's just keep going down this. So the retaining finger, why that's important is we want to make sure that it's as beefy or industrial as possible so that if an operator accidentally bumps the retaining finger, it doesn't mess with that adjustment, very important adjustment on that retaining finger, as we know. So the next thing down is going to be this new hook guard. And so what you'll notice about it is there is a little thumb screw, and I'm trying to do this while watching the screen. It's a little thumb screw, so no longer do you have to have an Allen wrench to unscrew either side and pull that off. You just have to use your fingers to unscrew it, and then it comes off. The other nice thing about it is while it's on, and let me just tighten it back down, while it's on, if you got fat fingers, like look at the size of that thumb, it's huge. I got fat fingers, thanks Mom. I can actually flip this guy down now to get access to the hook area. So very, very cool. Once again, simple things, but good innovation by listening to our customers. So we're able to flip that down and flip it up. But if I needed to put the cap driver on here, I could loosen that up, pull this off really easily, slide on my cap driver, and then put my hook guard back on. Cool? So the last thing that we're going to talk about, and I don't have them on the machine right now, but I have them here, is we have new hoop arms on the X machine. So these hoop arms are what we call, they have been given the name from our engineering team, HP, high performance. So the big difference between these hoop arms, they are the same as the hoop arms on our legacy equipment. The big difference is they're made out of heftier material, beefier material. So if we were to put on a round cylindrical hoop with just a piece of backing, which we never do, right? We always use material on our backing. But let's say it's a very light hooped material. Instead of potentially having vibration going through and maybe causing some light flagging, these hoop arms are very stiff and sturdy, very hard to bend too. So I've been in factories where we might have a Tajima or a Barrett or a competitor's operator that is used to pushing in the hoop and then just grabbing the hoop and pulling it out, and the arms start to get bent up quite a bit. These arms won't bend that way. So very, very nice new feature are these hoop arms, okay? So before we go into comments, what I'd like to do is for the most part, that is the big differences in the machine. Now, as we go in, this is the needle plate here. As we go in, and maybe we can show this camera here. Yep, hold on one second, guys. We're just gonna take a cinematic pause, a video pause here. And here we go. So this is the needle plate removed from the machine. And so what I wanna do is I wanna show you kind of some stuff on the inside. So what we have now is we have the trimmers are built into the needle plate itself. So what that does for us is a couple things. The first thing is if we can go back to the main screen for a second so I can use my hands as a visual. As the thread comes through the needle, or through the through the needle plate, as we do a trim, the longer or the more distance the trim actually happens away from the needle, the longer the tails are both on the bobbin thread and the upper thread. So once again, the further away we are, the longer the tails are on the back of our sew outs. And so by bringing up the trimmer to the bottom of the needle plate, we're able to get very, very short tail lengths on the back of our sew outs. Now, a lot of you are saying, Mike, big deal. It's the back of the design. I really don't care about how long the tails. Some people really do, guys. Some people really care that the back of the design looks as good as the front of the design. So this is a major improvement. A lot of technology went into, and a lot of man hours and frustrations of trying different ways of doing things went into figuring out how to get that to be there. So huge innovation by having the trimmer built into the needle plate, as well as there is a under presser that holds the thread. So after the trim happens, if we can go back in on this guy, and one more second here, I keep moving Nate around. This spring here has got kind of like a little piece of metal that actually pushes, as the trim happens, it pushes the thread up underneath this, and it holds the thread in place, and back over to the main screen, it holds that thread in place so as it starts the next stitch, we know where that bobbin thread is. So one of the big issues that we've seen in the embroidery world, all three of us, and probably you guys too, is the inconsistency of bobbins and the thread that are being put onto bobbins. You know, you'll pull thread off of one bobbin and it'll have a slight curl to it, and then you grab another brand of bobbin, you pull it off, and it's so curly that it almost looks like a slinky pulling back into the bobbin itself. So by holding that bobbin, we don't have to worry about that bobbin tail moving in different positions and possibly causing it not to pick up with the next stitch. So very cool. And then one last thing, if we can do that camera one more time, is Nate is going to kill me one of these times. Luckily, he's a very gentle and nice guy. You'll notice that there's like a little hole here on the opposite side of where the trimming action happens. So here's the eye of the needle where it goes through. This is the trimming action happens all up here. This hole actually goes onto a post in the lower arm that actually is on a motor that pulls that trimmer back and forth. So instead of using a rod or something that may be weakened after many stitches or many trims, we actually have a whole shaft, a flat shaft that runs back and forth with no bends in it, so that it can do its job over and over and over and over again. So very cool stuff. Any comments or questions at this point?
Did you mention self-sharpening carbide?
Yeah, so one other thing, great point, thanks Scott. The knife, the movable knife, am I calling it the right thing? Correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't remember.
Scott said yes, so we'll go with it. The movable knife is actually made out of carbide steel. So it will take, and as it's moving back and forth, it will take and keep itself sharp, because carbide, for all of us that don't know our steels very well, it's been explained to me as like one of the hardest steels that you can get. And so it will take a very, 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 very long time before that blade would dull or needs to be replaced. It's not that it will never need to be replaced. It will eventually, because it is what we call a consumable part, but it'll take a very long time before that is needed. Okay? So what I'd like to do, if that's the only question that we had, I want to start back up at the top of the machine, and I want to talk about what if you have a XT, an XTS, an EMT16, an EMT16 Plus, a Bravo, a Bernina E16, any of these machines, I want to go through and tell you what parts that we've come out with that you can purchase off of Shop Melco. We'll give you part numbers and everything and show you that they're up on Shop Melco. What parts you can actually put onto your machines, your Melco machines. So in all due respect, we try at Melco, as we build new technology, we try to make it as legacy as possible, meaning as retrofittable to our legacy equipment as possible. Sometimes parts are way more difficult to replace than things that you and I can do, and sometimes not. So starting up at the top, the first thing that we're going to talk about is the alien spaceship here, the thread cone stabilizer, and its real name, because Nate's shaking his head at me. This is something that can be put onto any of the machines I just mentioned. In fact, if you have an EMT10T, an EMC machine, these little thread cone stabilizers actually will work on your machine. Now, currently on Shop Melco, we only have these as individual pieces. We're working on the next day or two, we'll have a 16-pack of these available that you can order. But right now, the part number for the thread cone stabilizer, and we'll put this in the comments section, The thread cone stabilizer part number is 35237. 35237. Okay, so if we switch over to the computer for a minute, Nate.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are at the computer. I'm going to go to Shop Melco. I typed in that part number 35237, and we can see the thread cone stabilizer on there. We can see our price, and we can order that part as of now. Once again, we will be working on a discounted price where you can buy a quantity of 16 of them, so you can do this on each of your machines if you have multiple machines instead of buying 16 individuals. So I would tell you, if you're interested in these, hang tight. We'll make a comment on Facebook when we have that part, the 16-pack part, up and ready to go. We'll let you know. But I would hang on because there'll be a discounted price for 16 of them instead of buying 16 individuals, okay? All right, so let's go to our next part. And that would be, that would be this hook guard. So the hook guard, if you have a round lower arm on your Amaya machine, you can take the two Allen screws on either side that hold your current hook guard on, your existing hook guard you can remove, and you can put this toolless hook guard onto your machine. So the part number for that bad guy is 35270. 35270. So let's switch back over to the computer for a minute, Nate. And boy, time flies, doesn't it? Let me find my hook guard. I thought I had it up. Okay, there it is. 35270. So we see that that is up on Shop Melco. Scott has posted the part number for that. I kind of gave away the next part. That is the HP hoop arms. These beefier hoop arms are available for an upgrade on XT and above. Bravos, Berninas, anybody with those types of machines can purchase these upgraded hoop arms. And let's go back to the computer for a second, and I will bring up those hoop arms. We don't have a picture of those yet, but the part number on that is 35347. 35347 is the part number for that. So you can see those up on there and be able to purchase those for your machine if you're interested. They are compatible with all the hoops. Like I said, they operate, functionally, they operate the same as the arms. And I'm getting a head shake, so hold on one second.
Not for hoops that require extended.
So anything that uses the normal hoop arms today are compatible with these hoop arms. That's a good point, Nate. Thank you. So anything that's compatible with what we call the inboard position or the outboard position, these hoop arms will work with those hoops, okay? And so, with that said, is there any additional comments?
Nope, we are in good shape.
Okay, well, I hear somebody at the door. Oh, who is it? Oh, it's the pizza guy.
Hey, I got a
Hold on
pineapple
1 second, John.
pepperoni extra large
So,
for Mike Doe.
It looks like a pizza box, but really what it is it's a new part that we've got. We launched it with the X machine, and it's called the XL hoop. So the XL hoop, if I can, I will open this up. Luckily, I'm not handicapped like Nate right now, poor Nate's wrist. But what the hoop XL hoop kit comes with is the hoop itself, and it comes with a new set of extended hoop arms. So these are different than the older hoop arms that we have, the extended hoop arms. So do not think that these work for the other ones. They do not. These are our brand new ones. We'll be discontinuing the other ones eventually. But these guys here are made out of the same material as the new HP hoop arms, and they have an extended portion of them to fit onto or use this XL hoop. So what's interesting about this XL hoop is we finally, as operators, and I'm gonna throw this box down here if I can. That's like the New York style size pizza. This hoop allows us to have a full sew field of our machines. Unless you have a package A or B Bravo, it allows us to have a full sew field of what the machine can physically do without any excess that makes it look like we can sew, a football field on our machine. So this will fit the full sew field of the machine minus the corners because we have to have a rounded piece in our hoops. The other cool thing about this hoop is it's made by Melco. We developed this hoop, our engineering team did. It actually has landmarks on it to help you hoop in certain places, and it's a traditional hoop, non-magnetic hoop, but a traditional hoop. And it also has, so that we're not confused on which hoop we're looking for in our hoop database or our hoop software, it actually has printed onto the hoop the size both in inches and in metric, so both imperial and metric. Okay, so once again, really nice hoop, great for jacket backs, great for a lot of things. It's composite material, so it's not going to warp like wood has a tendency to do in dry climates or in climates that change quite often like Colorado. Very, very nice hoop. Check it out. It works for everybody's machines, Amaya-based machines, minus the Bravo package A and B, because you have a limited sew field. This is larger than the limitation on that A and B. You can always look at an upgrade to a package C if you're a Bravo user, package A and B. But everybody else, this will work on your XT machine, this will work on the XTS, EMT16, EMT16 Plus, all those guys, this machine or this hoop will work on. It's an awesome one. It is up on Shop Melco as well. We will be adding a part number for just ordering the hoop only. So if you buy this kit once and you want to have a second hoop or a third hoop, you can buy those additional hoops. Okay, so this is on Shop Melco. The part number for that guy, let's switch screens. And we've already posted the part number. It's 35300. Once again, 35300. And it is on there. So with that, yeah, so you'll want to, if you purchase this hoop, you'll want to make sure that you have the latest version of software. We'll post what version of software that would be. We'll get that posted up on Facebook to make sure that it's got the latest hoop database so that it's both in the simplified view as well as the advanced view for the Melco EMT folks. So yeah, any other questions, Scott, at this point?
No, we are in good. Well, Victor wants to know, are we really live?
Are we? We're live, Victor. I hope that you've realized that this is definitely not scripted because it's had its quirks and quirky. So I hear someone else at the door. It's awesome. We have all these visitors today. Oh, you know what? I have one other great thing to tell you. We have an exciting thing to tell you. Great news. We are adding something on Tuesdays, another Facebook Live on Tuesdays, and my friend John LeDrew is here to tell us about that.
Well, hiya, Mike.
Hi, John.
How's it going?
Good, John.
So pretty exciting about this new EMT16X, huh?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
Good, yeah, it's pretty exciting. Well, we've got some new stuff too for you Facebook Live watchers. We're going to be going live every Tuesday doing Digital Tuesdays now.
Oh, cool. Digital Tuesdays?
Digital Tuesdays.
Wow, that's
yeah.
exciting. So
Yeah.
what will we be learning about in Digital Tuesdays?
Well, there's so much to say and there's so much to learn. So we've got, we're going to talk about our Epson equipment, our rolling equipment, all sorts of stuff from dye sublimation to solvent print cut, direct to garment, how you can make money in that element of your business. As you know, your customers need more than just what one machine can do nowadays. You can buy all these different machines. They're really affordable. We're going to teach you some tips and tricks, show you the benefits of how to grow your business with this new type of stuff. So every Tuesday I'll be the face of Digital Tuesdays. Of course, we'll have a lot of extra guests too. I assume you're going to make a few cameos.
I would love to.
Yeah, we would love to have you.
Thanks. Well, I mean, I just want to make sure that y'all, you may be going, dude, I'm embroidery. What is this digital stuff about?
Yeah.
If you're selling any kind of embroidery swag products, if you don't know what swag is, any kind of products to your customers, I can guarantee you that they have needs for other things,
Right.
either be printed shirts, what else? Decals,
Yeah.
dye sub, like we're doing
Mugs,
lanyards.
Lanyards.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things that mix in with embroidery. And if you, as a supplier to your customer, cannot provide those, there's always a chance they're going to find that from somebody else, and they may have embroidery too. So these are good complementary products to add to embroidery. So check it out.
We like
John,
to call it the one-stop shop, right?
the one-stop shop.
Yeah. You come to us and you can get all your digital design equipment, your embroidery machines, and everything in between, right?
Yeah, and not only that, but hopefully you can talk to the experts. I think we're experts.
Like
They
I
haven't
consider
given
you-
me
I
my.
definitely consider you an expert.
Well, you are an expert too.
Come
so
on, you're
they
the
haven't given
expert.
me my license yet on expert of this, but maybe that's coming. One last thing before we take off, I want to mention that we will be at Impressions Long Beach next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We got a really cool show.
Exciting.
We got tons of different applications going on, from mixed media to digital dye sub to decals to really cool embroidery applications on hats to just you name it. We got it going on. I'll be there. John will be there. We got a whole bunch of our cool crew that will be there. Come by, visit us, say hi. We'll be doing some Facebook Lives from there as well. And it looks like we got another question from Scott.
Yeah, just a little clarification on the XL hoop.
Sure.
You have to repeat this because I gave it.
Yep.
One customer is asking, is it available in magnetic? So the magnetic hoop. And the other is, Brenda wants to know the size of it.
Cool. Yeah, so the first question was, is it magnetic or is it available in magnetic? The answer to that is no. Mighty Hoop is the manufacturer of magnetic hoops. And so this is not a magnetic hoop. Who knows if they do one in the future, but right now it's non-magnetic. The next question is what is the exact size of this? So what I can tell you is we've got that marked on here, and can you read it out, John?
45 by 43 centimeters and
Yep.
17.7 by 16.9 inches.
Yeah, so that's the size of the hoop itself. Our max sew field on the maximum sew field on the machine is 15.7 by 16.1. That's if you have anything but a package A or B Bravo. So that would give you an idea, Brenda, of the sew field, minus the corners, of course. So the size that John mentioned is the hoop size. Obviously, you have to subtract out kind of a safe zone for the presser foot to be able to travel around. So that gets you into that 15.7, 16.1 sew field. So with that said, another one?
Yeah, is the thread cutter something that could be upgraded?
So currently right now, the thread cutter is not something that is upgradable. You can definitely talk to your salespeople. And we have salespeople on Facebook Live right now with us. You can talk to them about trading in your machine. It is something that Melco is working on, discussing right now. But as of right now, we do not do upgrades of the thread cutters to existing equipment. So who knows what the future looks like on that, but right now that's what we're doing. So with that said, is there anything else?
We're good.
Okay, from the crew here, from the applications crew here at Melco, and I want to say a special thanks to our engineering team that's worked hard and diligent, our service team, be it here in Melco and out in the field worldwide, to our sales folks, and especially to you as our customers, a big thank you. Thank you for your feedback. Thank you for your hard work of developing these new products and always keeping us up to date on technology. We really appreciate you. Have a great day.